So we've kind of talked a little bit about this, scoring the perfect lot of land, and what to look for when you're going out there entertaining lots that you would want to build on. A couple of things that John's going to look for when he goes out to those properties, if you ask him to do that, of us to go out there, we're going to want to talk about drainage on that land. Okay, does the land slope, does it have, or is it a perfectly flat lot that doesn't have a lot of drainage opportunity? We're going to want to know that. It's a little bit of a red flag. Is it a wet lot? Has it been delineated as wetlands by the DEP? We're going to want to know that. Does it need a driveway length that's extended more than a typical 100-foot driveway? Okay, the longer these driveways get, there's more expense in that. So if it needed to go back 1,000 feet, 600 feet, 500 feet, we'd want to know that so we can properly price it for you, but also make sure you knew that that does come with some expense, because there's a couple other things that are affected by that driveway length, such as the power. So the power, whether it's overhead or underground, back 10 years ago, John, we used to get coal for free.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 years ago. Now, as it stands, you don't get any poles for free from CMP. And they charge you from the very first pole on that they need to set. They'll go about 200 feet with a pole. And they charge you $15.03 a lineal foot for that power pole to be set. Plus, they charge if it has to tree trim, and they charge if they have to drill for the ledge, if there's ledge.
That's the tree trim, which is another $475.
There you go, yeah.
And
If they find ledge, it's another $975 for each hole they have to drill.
is it more expensive to go underground?
A little bit, yeah, because you have to trench it, you have to put, most of the time, well, you don't have to do it all the time, you need conduits. It's always cheaper overhead. It's always cheaper overhead.
Eric, another important thing, that's not as the crow flies, right? That's not, lineal means if it has to go around a bunch of
Right,
things, they're
that's a good
charging you
point,
from
yeah.
the pole, so there's a lot of extra footage on there.
Yeah, so when we talk about underground power, one of the things that we have to be aware of, and we talk very much about this in the sales process, so that there's no surprises, but if a pole is set and we have to go up that pole, that's 35 to 40 feet of wire that has to go up there, and then it goes down in the trench. Sometimes the trench is a little bit of a snaky trench because we're avoiding trees and so on and so forth. You don't always have a straight, as Billy said, as the crow flies, opportunity to run that in a trench. So there's some footage there that we have to look at. And we tell you that up front once we know what we're dealing with. Building envelope is another thing. We've got to make sure that your building envelope, based on what this zone is where you're building, does it meet the needs of the size of your house? Some of these homes are very large today, and they may or may not fit.